has anything really meaningfully changed for Samsung since they announced their preliminary earnings back in April?
Well, like the rest of the world, there's more uncertainty, and that's the key word throughout this final first quarter results from Samsung Electronics. Really two pictures the giant is painting. Soaring demand for server chips due to increased work from home, of course, needs across the world, and cloud computing surge, and that has really lifted memory chip prices, contract and spot, and the prospects, at least in the short term now, for the chip business for Samsung Electronics. However, that is offset by weakness in displays, mobile phones, and consumer electronics, as well as appliances. Of course, Samsung is the world's largest maker of memory chips, phones, displays, and appliances, and it's broadly exposed to the COVID-19 economic shock seen around the world. So what are we getting for the guidance in the first quarter? Well, again, there's that operative word, uncertainties. That's what they've maintained throughout many of its businesses, will continue to persist into the second half, and saying that the second quarter earnings may decline as a result. It sees lower TV and smartphone profit in the second quarter. It warns that these uncertainties will likely persist not only through the second quarter, but through 2020. One of the worst divisions was OLED screens. The display business posted an operating loss of 290 billion won. It basically sees screen demand, those OLED screens for mobile phones, will be lower on what it called stagnant mobile demand. So we got these initial results, and this similar picture was painted on April 7th. This pretty much confirms it, and over the last 3 weeks, we've just seen more uncertainty as this pandemic continues.
Yeah, and Steve, the Kospi has been on a tear since the lows of mid-March. It's up over 30%, but Samsung, and I should point out, Hynix shares have not partaken in that rebound.
No, they have not, and this is reflected really in investor concern by this outlook of too much reliance on the mobile business, whereas the other sectors are really stagnant, if not declining, and with very little visibility going forward on global demand. So Samsung shares down about 20% since its January 20th peak. It's only rallied about 1% since those April 7th preliminary numbers, which were pretty good. Those preliminary operating profit numbers were 3.6% above estimates. But again, the stock has not rallied, and this is such a huge component of the Kospi index. But the Kospi has rallied quite significantly. 2/3 of the Kospi members are above their 50-day moving average. However, Samsung Electronics and Hynix, you mentioned that company as well, the two big memory chip makers, they have not participated in this rally.